All for you, all for you.
All right, good afternoon and welcome to the first media briefing of 2020. Happy New Year to all. We're looking forward to an exciting and energetic year in Aurora, building upon the success of last year. As I stated in my end of the year message, whenever I go out in our city, I feel the palpable new energy that flourished in 2019. This new Aurora energy was experienced by hundreds of thousands of residents and visitors alike, and it allowed us to turn stressful situations into strength and painful times into progress. I want to take the next few minutes to illustrate two ways that has happened. In August 2019, we stood right here in this room with members of the Aurora Noon Rotary Club to issue a public plea for volunteers to save the annual Festival of Lights at Phillips Park. Well, the volunteers showed up in droves, and the 13th season of the Festival of Lights was not only saved, it was highly successful. I'd like to invite Rotary President Linda Kemp to join me and give us an update.
Thank you, Mayor. Would it be appropriate to bring up my team?
Please,
because
please,
without them,
please bring up the team.
this was nothing. So.
Absolutely.
I'm Linda Kemp. I'm the president of the Aurora Rotary Club. This is Gretchen Tim. She is president-elect. She'll be stepping in after me. She is also the chair for this year's Festival of Lights. We have Byron Sam, who has been, I don't know, our everything in Festival of Lights. He was out there physically. He was out there giving us suggestions. He has done this from its inception. He has been absolutely wonderful. We have Tom Bedford, who has been amazing. He is currently not a Rotarian, but he just may be a Rotarian shortly. He has been amazing in what he has done and how the team has come together. Without Tom and Byron and Gretchen and our other members, this would never have gotten off the ground. And of course, Sherman, our alderman at large, but he is also a very important figure within our Rotary Club. We had so many wonderful things to share, but let me start with the car count for this year. The car count for this year was 31,100 cars.
Wow.
Over and above anything we could have possibly imagined. Bucket money, that's money that has been collected and donated to us, was 71,000 plus.
Wow.
Now mind you, when we started this, we were behind schedule. Thanks to Mayor Irvin and the media briefing that we did, within 2 days, Clayton sends me an email telling me we got 80 volunteers in 2 days for 5 work days that we set up. I couldn't even breathe. Well, guess what? The first work day that happened, Clayton was there walking around. He could not believe his eyes. He could feel the energy. We had older people, younger people, people of all different races, colors, diversities, income levels, bonding together. One was a former Rotaract student, which is a Rotary young person under the age of 30 in India. He never even knew this was a Rotary event, and here he is. We had people bonding. Well, many of these people came back and volunteered again. I have never in my life witnessed the amount of energy. When people say Aurora Strong, oh my gosh, they really mean it. So many wonderful things have happened. We had, for the second year in a row, we had City Council and staff come out and collect bucket money. How wonderful was that? We had City Council staff, we had aldermen, we had such a wonderful time for the second year in a row. It was amazing. And for the first time ever, we had the fire department and the police department. The fire department brings their rig, their amazing rig, lights on, and of course I forgot to tell Gio. It was crazy, but it was wonderful. The people were waving and having such a good time. And then the police department show up with their enormous RV. We had sandwiches, we had a great time, and they got out and collected bucket money. If it wasn't for the media briefing and the volunteers that we received, we could never have gotten this off the ground. Our volunteers this year, even though we started late and we were 7 days lacking because of where Thanksgiving fell on the calendar, turned into 350 plus people out there with us in the bitter cold, 9 degrees out there, handing out the buckets so that people can contribute. The people in Aurora and surrounding communities that came to our rescue were amazing, and I couldn't have done it without these people. If there was a glitch, I have to tell you, glitches are going to happen. Within half an hour, how many people were there? Tom was there, Byron was there, Gretchen was there. Everybody ran. Everybody ran over there to help and do whatever they possibly could. It was absolutely amazing, and I don't know what else to say. Except next year, it's going to be bigger and better.
Let's give them a round of applause.
And people of Aurora who volunteered get the applause. Thank you.
Thank you again to the Rotarians. I want to congratulate them and thank you for helping save our wonderful holiday tradition and raising funds for youth programs in Aurora. The reality is, Linda stated that, we came to a media briefing and made the call, and she gives Aurora the thanks. But people answered that call because of the holiday lights and what you've been providing to our city for 13 years. So I think it was a no-brainer when we asked for help, and people said, if we had known you needed help in the past, we would have been there for you. But guess what? They're going to be there for you from this point on. So thank you for all you do for the city of Aurora. One more round of applause. We know how important prevention and intervention programs are for our children and their futures, which brings us to the next topic today. In December, I used this platform to issue a renewed focus on youth mentoring. We had a trying month with deaths of young people in Aurora and surrounding communities, and we have had concerns already this year. As I said before, rest assured our police department is on the job and handling the situation. The community must step up and participate as well. Much like the response for the volunteers from Rotary, we have heard from many program leaders in the community and are looking forward to using this month of January as National Mentoring Month to formalize our citywide mentoring initiative. Now let me preface by saying the city's goal is to assess what we currently are doing, strengthen and impact our youth. The goal isn't to create a new wheel where there are many wheels already in existence helping our youth to move forward in life. Before last month's press conference, I met with Aurora Police leadership, and one thing that came out of that meeting was the need for an updated resource guide to give to parents and guardians of youth most in need. We heard that request loud and clear. I'm going to ask Chief Zeman to join me. Let's give everybody a round of applause for our Chief. Now, our team has spent the last month working on this topic with 3 goals. 1, to recognize and publicize mentoring and leadership development programs in Aurora. 2, to build opportunities for conversation and collaboration between adult leaders and youth participants in programs. And 3, implement best practices and impact our youth through proper assessment, data collection, and action over time. To date, we have had 26 programs on the list. These programs range from elementary through college. Some are for males, some are for females, others are for both. They have different focus areas including education, social, emotional, cultural, and all in between. These are active mentoring programs currently available for our youth here in Aurora. This month, we'll finalize the list, dedicate a web page for them, and produce informational cards specific to mentoring and leadership development programs. At the request of the police officers and educators, these cards will be made readily available, and contact information for all who may need it will be provided. We will also take the opportunity to recognize the programs during the city's 35th annual MLK ceremony on Monday, January 20th. Dr. King was an educator and a professor, and we will honor those who are continuing that part of his legacy. Another key part, providing opportunities for conversation with students and adults. We began by meeting last month with middle school participants in one of our mentoring programs. Some of their insights were very powerful and candid. Some of the key characteristics of Greater Mentor and some of the topics concern their peers. These are 12-year-olds that talked about different issues that affect them in their young lives, in their educational communities. You know, imagine if we began to use that data to arrange our mentoring activities. It could be life-changing. Like Booker T. Washington once said, if we build strong children, we won't have to repair so many broken men. Our children have a voice, and we must listen to them now or hear their cries later. Next week, we are meeting with high school students in the Girls Won the World mentoring program run by the Aurora Police Officer, Sky Calise. Chief Zeman and I will have an open and honest conversation on our students' needs and their views on the community as well. On Sunday, January 19th at the Aurora Police Department, a number of mentoring program leaders and I will host a special dialogue in honor of Dr. King. It's called, What is Your Life's Blueprint? And it's based on a 1967 speech by Dr. Martin Luther King. It will be another opportunity to listen to our youth and better equip them for the future. This is just the beginning. Now, Chief Zeman, I know you have been a strong advocate for youth your entire career. Do you have any comments that you could tell our youth about what we would like to see as a community, as a police department, to help us in the future?
Of course. One of the things that when you look at law enforcement, by the very nature of that title, it's to enforce the law. And yet it is so much more than that. It's about building relationships. First starting with all of our citizens, no matter what age they are. Those relationships need to be built on trust and legitimacy so that people feel that they can come to us, so they trust us. But one of the most important things that we can do is to build that trust and those relationships with our young people. We've started that. We've done it for as long as I can remember. Our predecessors have done it, but we have tried to build on that premise of building these relationships because we recognize that the youth entrusting us, not only does that help with recruitment, right? So instead of setting up a table somewhere and saying, come join the police department, what we try to do is one interaction at a time. And what I tell our police officers, there are 307 of us now, the most we've ever had in existence, by the way, thank you. But I try to tell them that it is about every interaction. We have 307 commercials for the Aurora Police Department, and many of those interactions are with our youth. So whether it's with our school resource officers, whether it is with our youth academy, or just an interaction on the street that someone has with a police officer where they can recognize maybe someone is on the precipice of making a wrong decision, and if an officer can intervene in that, that's what mentorship is all about. And this thing that we're doing next week at West High was not our idea, by the way. This was born out of Officer Calise, Sky Calise, and Officer Perella, who run Girls Run the World, and they were talking to some of our youth, the youth of our districts, and it was the kids that said, how come nobody ever asks us what we think? You know, you guys are always telling us, you know, what you're going to do. Why don't you ask us? We have a front row view into some of the crime that's occurring to some of the people who are occurring those crimes. And they said, but nobody ever asks us just because we're kids. And that literally blew my mind. And I thought, and that's exactly what this is going to be. It's going to be actually a listening session. So we're going to talk less and we're going to listen more about what some of their ideas are. And so all of this just builds upon that trust, and it builds upon these relationships that we have with our youth in the city.
Thank you, Chief. Let's give her another round of applause. Now, and I think that's a very important point, you know, when we ask our youth, what can we do as a community to help them, to make life better for them in Aurora? We had the opportunity to ask a couple of folks and a couple of kids, and I won't even call them kids, young people in junior high. And you know, these are some of the things that they pointed out. These are kids, once we asked, gave us the answer. some of the topics that are important to them, as young people. Conflicts between races, peer pressure, self-control, gang violence, stereotypes, mentor characteristics, honesty, humor, intelligence, patience, responsibility, things that could get peers in trouble, drugs, gang violence, bullying, alcohol, bad influences. Now, again, this is data that our young people are telling us that if we help them address this, and don't just give them all the answers, don't just tell them what we think, but let them be part of working through the problem, that we will be better as a community and our youth will be better, and be better leaders in the future. We won't always be here. We'll expect them to step up and take over, so let's equip them with what they need to be strong leaders in the future. At the end of the month, I am hosting what we are calling the Mayor's Mentors Luncheon, where leaders of mentoring programs will come together not to rehash out problems we are facing, but to discuss ways to collaborate and benchmark best practices. This will be the first of many opportunities for this particular group of leaders to work together well beyond January and into the year. The reality is, we know the power of effective mentoring and leadership programs. These programs, coupled with all of our recreational, athletic, and art programs, can be the game changers in the lives of our young people. It is my honor and responsibility to help facilitate these initiatives, and conversation from the mayor's office will be had. Be on the lookout for additional information. Any questions from the media on mentoring? Any questions? Looking at me like you have a question. Well, I'll move on. As I also going to ask my deputy mayor to join me up here. Chuck, come on down. Now, at the previous meeting, I announced we would be helping the community more directly by implementing an additional media briefing. This will be the deputy mayor's media briefing. I'm excited those will begin this month. Deputy Mayor Chuck Nelson will be leading those briefings, and they will be community focused and provide an opportunity for our community organizations like Rotary, our mentoring programs, to have a platform to talk about their needs and initiatives. We'll also use this platform to talk about community-wide initiatives that impact neighborhoods and quality of life, as well as give our Aurora Poet Laureate an opportunity to recite some poetry. Of course, Deputy Chuck Nelson is the right man for the job, as we all say. Come on, you say it with me. Everybody loves Chuck. These briefings will be held on the second Thursday of each month, 4 p.m., right here at City Council Chamber. Anyone interested can contact the mayor's office. Any community group or interested agency that wants to participate can contact the mayor's office via phone or email at the deputy mayor's first media briefing on Thursday. He'll also announce his new website where people can request to speak at media briefings along with him. I'm asking our media to continue to support us by be involved in all our media briefings, including the deputy mayor's briefings. I asked the deputy mayor to join me because today is also a special day. Today is his birthday. Nice. So before I turn it over to Chuck for a few words, let's all wish him a happy birthday. Come on, Dave. No, it has to be a little bit. Come on,
happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
I don't see some people singing back there.
Happy birthday, dear Chuck. Happy birthday to you.
Take it away, Chuck.
I wasn't expecting that. All I was told was to come up and stand next to you. Well, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate the birthday wishes, and most of you should know that today is a milestone birthday. I'm now eligible for Social Security. So I'm excited about that. Mayor,
don't get too excited.
No,
You're not going
I'm not going anywhere. No. Mayor, I really do want to thank you for this great opportunity. You have used this opportunity to the benefit of the city of Aurora. And we saw some great things today. We heard some great things today regarding what's happened with the Rotary. We've also seen and witnessed other great things too as well. So I'm looking forward to this opportunity. Not so much a challenge, but an opportunity.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much, Mayor, again for this great opportunity, and I look forward to working with you, working with the City Council, and working with the community. Thank you.
Absolutely. Any questions for Chuck? Anyone in the media have any questions for Chuck? No? All right, well, this concludes our media briefing for today, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
You notice I didn't say long.
Yeah.